afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams, and today we're going to be going over the waiver wire for Week 11. Starting at the quarterback position, Cam Newton is back in the NFL, and he's playing for the Panthers. He didn't have very many snaps this week, but he did have 2 touchdowns, one on the ground and one in the air. I definitely think he is worth a grab. This previous MVP still has some juice left. I'm not saying he's going to be top 10, but when you can get it done with your legs, you can get it done in fantasy. Also, I can't wait to see Cam Newton going against Ron Rivera and the Washington football team. That's a reunion I'll be keeping my eye on. Moving on to Tua Tagovailoa. He's going against the Jets. I think that's a great matchup. The Miami defense has been incredible recently, so I think that he's going to be in a positive game script. Fire up your Tua if you need him. And last but not least, Mac Jones. Mac Jones has been getting better and better every week. And last week he put on a clinic against the Browns. I think he should do a fine job this week against Atlanta. I don't think he's a weekly starter, but I do think that he can get it done against Atlanta. Moving on to the wide receiver position, Michael Gallup is back from injury finally. Dallas Cowboys are a high-powered offense, and they like to spread it around, so I do think Michael Gallup's going to be involved. He had 5 targets last week. That was 1 more than Amari Cooper. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Amari Cooper, but I do think that he's going to be involved. That being said, I am a wait and see on him. He's more of a bench play than a grab and start. Elijah Moore, wide receiver for the New York Jets. He's had touchdowns in the last 2 games, but the quarterback situation is up in the air at the moment. Is it going to be Mike White or is it going to be Zach Wilson? Also, Corey Davis is going to be more involved. I think that his future is more up in the air, but this team will utilize him. If you need to start right now, I think that he's a flex play. Moving on to wide receiver Darnell Mooney for the Chicago Bears. Bears. He had 2 touchdowns last week. Justin Fields is starting to become a better quarterback. He's not great, but I definitely think that he has a favorite target. That's Darnell Mooney. And last but not least, we have Jamal Agnew, wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had 5 targets last week, didn't catch any of them, but he did have 3 rushes for 79 yards and a touchdown. I don't think he's somebody you have to start, but I do think that he is worth a speculative add. Moving on to the running back position. Number 1 running back this week, Ramondre Stevenson, running back for the New England Patriots. Told you to pick him up last week. Hopefully you did, because he went off against the Browns this week. That was an incredible matchup. He played fantastic. Damian Harris suffered from a concussion last week, which gave Ramondre Stevenson this opportunity to go off against the Browns. But will Damian Harris be back this week? Now, the Patriots play on Thursday, so if he's going to be back, he's going to need to be back in the next couple days. I still think that Ramondre Stevenson will be involved regardless, but he definitely is going to be more involved if Harris is out. The next running back on my list, Wayne Gallman on the Atlanta Falcons. Cordero Patterson is currently dealing with an ankle injury, and they're not very optimistic that he's going to be playing in Week 11, and if he doesn't play, I think that Wayne Gallman is going to be the running back the Falcons choose to roll with, because Mike Davis doesn't seem like he has it right now. If you're desperate for running back, you can go for Deonta Foreman, running back for the Tennessee Titans. He had 11 carries and 2 targets. I'm not really excited about starting him, but I do think that they will run the ball. Right now, they're splitting between 3 running backs. I don't see him having a lot of upside, to be honest with you, but I do think that he could be worth a speculative add if you have an open spot. And last but not least, check to see if A.J. Dillon is on your waiver wire. I know, he's not on your waiver wire, but in some leagues, A.J. Dillon was dropped. And if he was, go get him, because he is the number 1 player to pick up if he is out there. With Aaron Jones going down and being most likely out for a week or 2 with a sprained MCL, A.J. Dillon is going to go off. So if he's on your waiver wire, pick him up. If he's not, then you're probably in a more competitive league. Moving on to the tight end position, Dan Arnold, tight end from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has gotten 7 or more targets the last 3 weeks. He is clearly involved in this offense. I definitely think he's worth a grab. Logan Thomas, tight end for the Washington football team. Logan Thomas should be returning back from injury. I definitely think he is worth an add. They currently don't have very many wide receivers to throw it to, so having a talented tight end is going to be very useful for them. I also think that Tyler Conklin, tight end for the Minnesota Vikings, is worth an add. He's been getting some targets. And Gerald Everett, tight end for the Seattle Seahawks, got 8 targets and 8 receptions. 8 targets is a lot of targets for a tight end. DK Metcalf did go out in this game, but I do think that Gerald Everett could be worth a speculative add if you need a tight end. I don't think he gets 8 targets every week, but I do think that he is going to be more involved in this offense. Moving on to the defense position. Miami Dolphins going against the New York Jets. Miami's defense has been playing fantastic, and I actually really like their schedule coming up. After the Jets, they get the Panthers and the Giants. Very solid schedule coming up. I definitely think they are worth an add. Up next, we have the 49ers, who did work against the vaunted LA Rams tonight. That was an incredible defensive performance. I definitely think San Francisco's worth an add. And on top of that, they're playing Jacksonville. This should be a prime pickup for the 49ers. I also think the Panthers going against Washington's fairly solid, as well as the Chargers versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Assuming that Big Ben doesn't play, this could be a fantastic defensive play for them. Mason Rudolph is not the answer. He is bad at football. And that's going to do it for my waiver wire on week 11. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below. Good luck on the wire this week. Peace.